dream, Neo, that you were so sure was real? What if you were unable to wake from that dream? How would you know the difference between the dream world and the real world?
What is happening to me?
The answer is out there, Neo. It's the question that drives us.
What is the Matrix?
The Matrix is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
They're watching you, Neo.
Human beings are a disease. You are a cancer of this planet. And we are the cure.
Get me the hell out of here!
What's the most resilient parasite? An idea. A single idea from the human mind can build cities. An idea can transform the world and rewrite all the rules. Which is why I have to steal it.
The concept is to drive these remotely controlled bodies called avatars. They're grown from human DNA, mixed with DNA of the natives.
Marine in an avatar body. That's a potent mix.
Looks like you. This is your avatar.
Just
I've been intrigued by this question of whether we could evolve or develop a sixth sense, a sense that would give us seamless access and easy access to meta information or information that may exist somewhere that may be relevant to help us make the right decision about whatever it is that we're coming across. And some of you may argue, well, don't today's cell phones do that already? But I would say no. When you meet someone here at TED, and this is the top networking place, of course, of the year, you don't shake somebody's hand and then say, can you hold on for a moment while I take out my phone and Google you? Or when you go to the supermarket and you're standing there in that huge aisle of different types of toilet papers, you don't take out your cell phone and open a browser and go to a website to try to decide which of these different toilet papers is the most ecologically responsible purchase to make. And I'm here to unveil our latest effort and most successful effort so far, which is still very much a work in process. I'm actually wearing the device right now, and we've sort of cobbled it together with components that are off the shelf, and that, by the way, only cost $350 at this point in time. I'm wearing a camera, just a simple webcam, a portable battery-powered projection system with a little mirror. These components communicate to my cell phone in my pocket, which acts as the communication and computation device. And in the video here, we see my student Pranav Mistry, who's really the genius who's been implementing and designing this whole system. And we see how this system lets him walk up to any surface and start using his hands to interact with the information that is projected in front of him. The system tracks the 4 significant fingers. In this case, he's wearing simple marker caps. The system also recognizes iconic gestures such as the take a picture gesture and then takes a picture of whatever is in front of you. And when he then walks back to the media lab, he can just go up to any wall and project all the pictures that he's taken, sort through them and organize them and resize them, etc.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to witness for the first time on any screen a preview of things to come in your car of tomorrow.
Ah, old visions of futuristic cars. First, cruise control, then cars that park themselves, and then ones that helped you avoid fender benders. But now,
and now it's driving again.
A self-driving car. And from, of all companies, Google.
It uses cameras inside to spot traffic lights and other things. And also uses this thing on the top, which is a scanning laser.
They say this car's already driven itself 140,000 miles. Driven itself? Really? Here's how it works. You tell the car your destination, it plots a route, it's aware of speed limits, traffic patterns, and known obstacles. So the wheel just turned completely by itself?
Completely by itself.
It's not intended to replace drivers, but to help them.
It's like, super cruise control.
Imagine clicking the button for auto drive when you wanted to dial a phone number or read a text.
If you wish to drive it, just fine. If you wish to waste 52 minutes in commute traffic, go ahead, be my guest.
In fact, Google touts safety as their motivation. They say this technology could one day cut traffic deaths in half. Whoa! It got really nervous.
Yeah, it must have thought it saw somebody coming in down the on-ramp.
So how does it handle stop signs and alternating turns with other cars at intersections?
Crosswalk ahead. It would be the same probably with pedestrian safety in the sense of using the radio signals to check and see who's in front of them, who's around.
But how does it handle the unexpected? How about a little game of chicken? It stopped.
No doubt by now you've heard something about virtual worlds, whether it's World of Warcraft, Star Wars Galaxies, or Second Life. In some cases, virtual worlds are games where people coordinate, collaborate, and strategize in order to perform a task. In other instances, virtual worlds are shared virtual environments where people socialize, work, learn, and of course, dance. You enter a virtual world through an avatar, a graphical representation of yourself. This is my Second Life avatar, North Lamar. Avatars can be customized by changing their clothes, gender, height, weight, and even form. Virtual worlds aren't just about avatars or making them dance. Virtual worlds are being used by companies such as IBM, Starwood Hotels, the Wall Street Journal, and Sony BMG, to name a few. All of us have been in a few of these. A committee meeting in a small room where only a few people are talking, but most of us are taking notes or checking our email on a laptop. Why are we meeting like this when we could be meeting like this? What we may lose in body gestures and facial expressions, we may be able to make up by being able to be there while being anywhere. Here's another example. A large auditorium-type course, typical of an undergraduate history or biology class. In courses like these, it's typical for only about 7 people to speak up during an entire semester. In most cases, instructors interact with their students by using PowerPoint slides, asking 1 or 2 questions, or by writing on a whiteboard. Are students gaining anything by being in a face-to-face environment? Why take a course in those conditions when you could take one like this? Is this really that different? The speaker has a PowerPoint screen and is lecturing to the students. At least students aren't sitting in a cramped desk and being interrupted by sleeping students. In this case, students can at least be at home with their laptops and notebooks spread over their desk while listening to their instructor through headphones. Students can either ask questions through a chat window, or in some cases, they can speak through their microphone. Virtual worlds are connecting people in a disconnected society. Join us next time as we talk about a pilot study where an undergraduate English course at the University of Texas at Austin incorporated Second Life
The technium is anything useful that a mind makes. It doesn't even have to be a human mind, any mind. So it includes not just the gadgets, but it also includes the law, our writing. Many aspects of civilization are part of the technium. It's not just hardware. And I go on to say that, in fact, the greatest technology humans have ever invented is humanity itself. We domesticated ourselves. We turned ourselves into part of the technium because we cannot live as a species. We cannot live without technology. We've invented ourselves, and it's our greatest invention so far. Technology as a whole is deterministic. It has an agenda, and there are certain aspects of it that are inevitable, and what our choices are is in how convivial we make them, whether we make them open or closed, whether we make them evolvable or not, whether we make them prone to diversity or not. So we have choices in the character of these technologies and not necessarily whether we have the technologies or not. What I'm proposing is the pro-action approach to technology, which means we have to use things in order to find out about them. That we actually have to engage with technology. The only way we can determine whether something is good for us or bad for us is through use. I don't think we can control it because I think that the technology is a cosmic force, and technology began not with humans, but preceded it into biological evolution and even preceded it further back to the Big Bang. So this exotropic force, the force of self-organization that is running through galaxies and stars and planets, runs through life and is extended into technology, and that self-organizing living force is what we are having to ride. What we're doing with the web is actually making a very large-scale global organism that in a few decades or so we will be able to identify as an organism in every sense of the word. For many years, the dogma was that evolution was offloaded from the genes into culture, that our bodies stopped evolving because culture took it over. But in fact, it turns out that genetically we are accelerating in our evolution, that our genes are evolving faster because of technology. Reading and writing changes, permanently rewires the brain. It's for sure, we'll see with enough evidence that people who use Google and offload their memory to the cloud, it will affect our brains. So we are absolutely changing ourselves. I'm interested in how people personally decide to refuse a technology. I'm interested in their process, because I think that will happen more and more as the number of technologies keep increasing. The only way we can assert our identity is by not using technology. It used to be that you define yourself by what you use. Now you define yourself by what you don't use. So I'm interested in that process.